Good evening, high school football fans. This is High School Football America for January 19th, 2017. I'm Jeff Fisher, host of the show and founder and editor-in-chief of High School Football America and highschoolfootballamerica.com. Got a great show lined up for you tonight as we're going to have a nice conversation about our 2016 mythical national champs, Bishop Gorman with the head coach of the Gaels, Kenny Sanchez, who's going to stop by and talk about what has been a great run for the Gaels under the direction of quarterback Tate Martell, who was a perfect 43-0 as the quarterback of Bishop Gorman. And also on the show, we're going to have a legendary Texas high school football coach, Randy Allen, the captain of the ship at Highland Park in Texas this past season. Coach Allen, who is fourth on the all-time Texas high school football coaching wins list. Coach Allen leading his school to the Class 5A Division I state championship in the state of Texas. Quarterback on this year's team for Coach Allen was John Stephen Jones. He is the grandson of Jerry Jones and got a lot of publicity after winning the championship there at Granddad's field known as Jerry's World. So we're going to have both Coach Sanchez and Allen join us in just a little bit. Some big news, a big rematch coming up in 2017. Part of the Honor Bowl here in Southern California. If you remember from last year, High School Football America having a big hand in bringing IMG out to play in the Honor Bowl, along with we brought out St. Joseph Regional and St. Joseph's Prep. We're taking all of our relationships that we've had through the years, and that game between IMG and Corona Centennial last year was a dandy. IMG finishing the season number 3 in our overall National High School Football America rankings, developed with our proprietary algorithm, and Corona Centennial finishing the season number 10 in the nation. Both losses by only 3 combined points. But anyway, that IMG Corona Centennial game was a thriller. 50-49, IMG came out on top. They scored what appeared to be the game-tying touchdown as they were down 49-47 with extra point to come with 12 seconds to go. But Kevin Wright, head coach of IMG, decided you're on the road. You've come all this way from Florida to California. You need to go for the win. And they went for 2, and they scored the 2-point conversion. And they're going to re-rack this one this year coming up. The game will be played at Cathedral Catholic down in San Diego. So a big matchup already announced. We're also going to talk to Kenny Sanchez about 3 big games for Bishop Gorman as they go after another national championship, 54 straight wins for the Gaels. This year they already have scheduled Mater Day out of Southern California with super sophomore quarterback with JT Daniels at the controls. He'll be a junior next year. Also, Gorman next year will play DeMatha. DeMatha finished number 5 in our overall national rankings. Mater Day ended up the season ranked number 14, and then there's all-time California power, De La Salle, also on Bishop Gorman's schedule. So starting to get those out-of-state matchups coming into the fold. Last week we talked about Carmel out of Indiana taking on Trinity out of Kentucky. That's a matchup of 6A champs from those 2 neighboring states. So looking forward to some more games being announced. We've got a couple that we already know about, have to keep it off the record, but some big games coming up in 2017. Want to welcome in all of our partners on the show, beginning with Crossover. Get your game film broken down for you in great statistical analysis, tendency reports, everything there for you. It's a 5-minute demo that will change the way you coach. It will give you a competitive edge. Just go to crossover.com/HSFA to sign up for your demo, or you can get to all of our partners, all of our sponsors, by going to highschoolfootballamerica.com and clicking on their banner ads. And speaking of a competitive edge, that's what Echo gives you. Instant replay on your sideline just 8 seconds after the play is completed. Yeah, if you don't have sideline instant replay, you're behind the times. And Echo, the creators of this technology, are just the people to give you that competitive edge. Let you make tomorrow's adjustments today. That's their slogan, and it's a good one because the offense was sputtering. You bring them off the field, you show them what happened, and bingo. Maybe the next time you go out, find pay dirt. Echo1612.com is where you can learn more about Echo. High School Football America also brought to you tonight by our good friends at Southern Sport, the makers of the debris inhibitor razor, the TDI razor, if you will. Razor with a U. TDI razor, RAZUR.com is where you go to get this great-looking spat that keeps those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes and gives you that great look of spatting players without the high cost of tape. Over 20 great colors for you. You can get your logos on it too. Really spiffs up the uniform. HSFA, the special code you can use when you go to TDIrazor.com, and it'll get you a discount on your order. Check them out again at TDIrazor, RAZUR.com. Also brought to you tonight by the good folks at ScoreStream, with us throughout the season, giving you live scores on our state-by-state scoreboards and our top 25 scoreboard. It's a great app that you can take to the game and not only score along so everybody knows how your favorite team is doing, but also you can post photos and videos. You can get it at the iTunes store or Google Play. It's a great product. You'll have a lot of fun with it at the game. And again, they power all of High School Football America's scoreboards when we're in season. And also brought to you tonight by our friends at USA Today High School Sports. Once again, High School Football America and USA Today High School Sports teaming up to give you great coverage from around the nation and coverage specifically from Southern California. Check them out at usatodayhss.com. Hey, I want to remind everybody that the Coaches Job Board is pumping along. We've got over 250 active openings on the website. All you have to do is go to highschoolfootballamerica.com. You'll see in the navigation tab, Coaches Job Board. You can click on that, and you'll see all the jobs. You can search by location, meaning state, even city, if you want to break it down that far, and then also positions, but they're all listed for you nice and neat. It's the easiest to use scoreboard in the nation. It's High School Football America's Coaches Job Board, and right there underneath that in the navigation tab is coachesjobboard.com, which has over 100 jobs currently, which are all the jobs outside of high school football. So make sure that you check them out. And if you want to, if you have an opening on your staff and you want to get it to us and want to have us post it on the website, just email us at jobposting@highschoolfootballamerica.com. Coming up next week, we're going to announce our National Coach of the Year and our National Player of the Year, along with our All-America teams. Plus, we'll also be releasing the medium school and small school top 25. It's taken us a little bit longer to put that one together, but we like to try and get it accurate to make sure we place the schools in the right categories. We've already put out our national top 50. We've mentioned that next year we're going to go to a national top 100. We've done the public school and the private school top 25, so that will be all coming out for you coming up here in the next several days. So make sure you keep checking us out. When we're not on the air, feel free to follow us on Twitter at HSFB America, also on Facebook and Instagram. And again, if you want to just get in touch with us, feel free to email us at jeff@highschoolfootballamerica.com. Any suggestions for shows coming up, but Got a good couple of weeks here of coaches that had fantastic 2016s that we're going to celebrate those state championship wins. All right, we're going to take our first break, hear from all of our partners, and when we come back, we're going to talk with our 2016 mythical national championship coach. His name is Kenny Sanchez, completes 2 years as the head coach of the Gaels. 30-0, a perfect 30-0. They've won 54 straight, and Kenny Sanchez, when we come back, is going to talk about what was a fantastic run in 2016 and also give us a sneak peek at what's ahead in 2017 from the team from Las Vegas. That and more, you're listening to High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, You'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors, and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover.com/football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Once again, for the third straight year, USA Today and High School Football America teaming up for great national coverage and coverage specifically from Southern California. Check them out at usatodayhss.com. And speaking of USA Today, the 3-time defending national champions are going to be right here at the top of the show. Kenny Sanchez, the head coach of Bishop Gorman. They've won 3 straight Super 25s. They were the consensus number 1 this year in all 4 of the national ranking services, including ours with the proprietary algorithm. And Kenny Sanchez is on the line right now to talk about a fantastic 2016 and look ahead to 2017. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and before we get started here, I'm going to rattle off a couple of numbers. I think most around the nation know it. You've got 54 straight victories, 8 Nevada straight national championships. Like I said, the 3 straight Super 25 championships. But what stands out to me is this year's schedule may have been the toughest you ever had. 3 state champions defeated along the way. St. John Bosco here from California, Florida State champs St. Thomas Aquinas and Cocoa, a runner-up in Kahuku, and then Cedar Hill out of Texas on national TV. They were state quarterfinalists this year. I don't know if it's a fair question, but in the run of 3 straight national titles, how does this team stack up? Is it fair to compare the 3? Maybe so with Tate Martell at the controls.
Yeah, it's hard to compare because a lot of the kids who were on the team this year were also on the team the previous 2 seasons as well. So you can definitely make an argument for this team being, better just on the basis of those kids being older than they were their sophomore year when they won their first national championship. I believe we had, I want to say 5 or 6 that started as sophomores on that team, and then obviously rose up to be seniors and do what we did this year. So, but then also you got to take into account you lose some really good players along the way. I know that first year in 2014, we lost Nico Fertitta, who's playing at Notre Dame as a safety. Alize Jones is a tight end at safety. Nella Altakulu, who's a starting linebacker at Fresno State, just to name a couple of those guys that without them we never could have won all those games. And then obviously then 2015, the guys that we lost there as well, and then this year the guys that we're going to lose as well. So I think instead of comparing it, we just we're very thankful and very blessed to have been in the situation that we were with such great football players, and then our role players that have played such a huge part in helping us win all these football games. The guys that aren't mentioned, the unsung heroes. We have so many of those guys. I mean, we have 76 kids on the roster, and I know that 22 play most of the time, but without the scout team and everyone always looks special teams, but we were great on special teams this year. We didn't give up a kick return for a touchdown or a punt return for a touchdown. So we did really good things in that aspect. So all around, I thought it was a very good season. I thought this team was extremely, extremely good. It's tough to make an argument that they weren't the best team ever.
Yeah, they ascended to that over 3 straight seasons. Kenny Sanchez, head coach at Bishop Gorman, on the line, 30-0 in his 2 years as the head coach, and had the pleasure of watching the big game out here against St. John Bosco, a second-half comeback, big win for you guys. And, you talked about the scout team, and one of the things, I think you've been on the show 3 times now, or at least twice, and the coaching staff gets overlooked. And I remember, watching you guys because I was on your sidelines for the Bosco game. Let's talk a little bit about that staff that you have there, because you get a lot of the accolades being the head guy, but tell us a little bit about that staff and how important they are to the success of Bishop Gorman.
Yeah, well, being an assistant coach for, I think, 11 years out of the 13 years I've been coaching, I've only been a head coach for 2, so the majority of my time doing this has been as assistant coach, and, so I understand, how big of a role those guys are in the program, and ours are second to none. I've been with a lot of these guys for almost a decade now, so we've had a lot of stability in our staff, which is huge, and those guys do such a phenomenal job, not just coaching and teaching, but being great mentors to our kids and letting them understand the life lessons, the goals that we're trying to teach, and understand that winning is just, it's a microcosm of those things. It's the little things that add up, and that winning would take care of itself. But yeah, those guys are phenomenal. I got a brother who coaches wide receivers. Craig Campos, our offensive coordinator. His dad coached me in youth football, so I've known him forever. Sean Manning, our O-line coach and strength and conditioning coach. Him and my oldest brother, were roommates in college, so I've known him since I was in junior high. Scott Cooley, our D-line coach, he's been with us for 10 years. So that's just to name a few. So we've been together for a long time and understand each other, and those guys do a great job.
And of course, your brother started it all. You were under him, Tony, at UNLV right now, and you're 30-0. Your little brother's doing pretty darn good there with that record. Did you guys over the holidays have a chance to talk? Has he given you a good pat on the back, saying, "Attaboy, you're doing well"? What does he think of what you've done in 2 years?
We talk a lot. I mean, we have a great relationship, and always ask him for advice. And I mean, we're just, our record just, like I said before, it's just the microcosm of doing all the right things. And I mean, the guy I took over for, which is my brother, in 6 years, turned this thing into something that we all thought was possible, but didn't know if it was. And I knew that when I took over, well, all of us took over, me and the assistant coaches really took over. We just knew that we wanted to keep it going the way it was, but then also get better. That was kind of his message every year was, if it ain't, that old quote, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And well, that's not what he or I believe in. It's, you break it and then you rebuild it again stronger each year. And that's what we try to do. And, we've had some close games along the way. So late luck's been on our side. The football god's got to be shining down, every once in a while, and got some overtime wins in there and a blocked field goal to, keep us going. So, football's been kind to us, and, but at the same time, our kids work extremely hard. So, we're just we're blessed to be where we're at right now. We're living the dream right now. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we are living the dream.
No need to wake up at this point. I would say that's the best suggestion. Kenny Sanchez from Bishop Gorman on the line tonight, three-time defending USA Today Super 25 national champs. Like I said, a great schedule this past season. We're going to talk about what you have coming up. I know you talked yesterday about a couple of the teams, but I guess the big question is, as you replace the parts, Tate Martell undefeated as a quarterback there, gone. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the guy to take over. I guess we got a little bit of a look at him in the state championship game against Liberty. Tell us a little bit about Dorian and some of the other things that you guys are going to work on during the off season to get ready for a big schedule coming up in 17.
Yeah, Dorian's been with us since his sophomore year as well. He's been obviously a backup to Tate, which has been extremely helpful, I believe, for him to play underneath, a quarterback of that caliber, as good as Tate was, and for them to compete with each other every day, it only makes you better. It really does, and he's been such a great inspiration to us all for how he's acted and how he's taken that backup role. I mean, the kid could start anywhere else in the country, and and he really took it upon himself this year to help the team out any way he could. He played some defense. He played wide receiver for us. He made some huge plays, especially in that John Bosco game. He had 2 touchdown catches. But yeah, we're not going to skip a beat with him. He's a phenomenal football player. He's a quarterback. That's what he is. He's a big, strong kid at 6'2", 6'3", 210 pounds. He can run really well. He can spin it when he throws it, and he's got a lot of offers already, just based off his natural talent. So we're looking forward to him, taking over this team, and obviously him being the leader for sure.
Yeah, you've got some wide receivers come back. Tell the listeners around the nation a little bit of what you have coming back, because the cupboard's not bare. You'd lose some good parts, but it's not bare.
Yeah, no, we do. We lose a lot of good parts, and like I was talking about a little bit earlier, every year we're going to, every year, they're going to take a big piece of that cake. They're going to graduate and move on, and then it's up to the kids and for us to coach those guys in the off season, get them bigger and stronger, and just next man up and keep it going the right way. But we got our leading receivers back, and Jalen Naylor, he almost had 1,000 yards catching this year. Brevin Jordan, our leading tight end, is back, and he's top tight end in the country. Rivals has him as that. So we got some guys back, and we're looking forward to building our young kids into becoming varsity football players. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're doing here. We're not always just trying to, it's easy to try and see who the next guy transferring in is, or try to search for those things are, but that's not the case. That's not reality for us, and that's not what we do. What we do is so we can build our freshmen into sophomores, into juniors, and then into great seniors.
And speaking of reality, a lot of people got to know, Tate Martell via Twitter, and I thought, since we have you on here, give the listeners a look inside of Tate, because I spoke to him after the Bosco game, very impressed with his composure, his, giving credit to Bosco and just all that. What are some of the things that people should know about Tate Martell, aside from, being a prolific Twitter guy?
Yeah, no, there's that's his own fault because he loves Twitter. So he's gonna have to wear that one, take it on the chin. But he's got no problem doing that. Well, he's an extremely good student. He's very well liked on campus by his peers as well as the teachers and administration. He's a mentor to not only our younger kids but kids around the community. He helps out at local hospitals and in that nature, and he's and the kid is as competitive as they get, and he is. And I've told him before that he's the toughest kid I've ever coached at any position. He never for playing his position and with the things that we do on offense, as much as he's got to run the ball as well as throw it. He's never gone out of bounds. He's never missed a practice, and he's never been too sore to not throw that day or wait for the next day when he feels better. So the guy's an extreme competitor with a lot of toughness.
So you're a perfect fit. One of the things I love this year, whether it was at Bosco or watching on TV, you like to get a little excited on the sidelines there. Sometimes I'm thinking you want to slap a helmet on there. Is that the case? What's that excitement about?
Yeah, well, I mean, I love the game since I was a little kid, and I don't want to sit in a cubicle my whole life, so I don't see the point in being on the football field and not being excited. I mean, there's some fun stuff going on out there. I don't want to keep that in. I don't want our kids to keep it in. I think energy builds upon energy, and you got to be yourself. And I love being out there and having fun. This life is way too short not to be excited when good things are happening.
I agree with that one. Kenny Sanchez on the line here. Going to wrap things up. A couple of quick questions. Again, great schedule over the last several years on the national scene. I hear you got Mater Dei booked. Bruce Rollinson told me about that. You got DeMatha from Maryland, De La Salle, another good non-league schedule. Tell us about putting it together and how excited you are to face it.
Yeah, no, we're extremely excited again. And, just a little history on why we build these out-of-state games. It was never to win a mythical national championship. That was never really the case. It was always to just try to build our team to face circumstances that are going to be tough so that we have a greater chance to win a state championship, because that's really the only thing we can control at the end of the day on the field is a state title. So every year we just try to reinvent ourselves, and luckily we were able to play these phenomenal football teams like DeMatha Catholic and Mater Dei with Bruce Rollinson, who I have tons of respect for because I'm a young guy who doesn't really know anything right now, and he's been around forever, and the guy's just does nothing but win, and he's admired among his peers and his players, and so I'm super excited to play against him and his program, and then De La Salle High School. We're all from the Bay Area. Most of our coaches, I know, me as well, is from Livermore, California, which is really close to Concord. So it's fun to go out and play those guys. They run the veer option better than anyone in the country almost, and so it's exciting. Our kids are excited for it. It gives you something to look forward to in the off season, and understand that there's no days off. I mean, we got back from Christmas break on the Tuesday after New Year's, and we were back in the weight room ready to go, as those programs were too, because that's what great guys do. We're not the only ones doing it, so we're just understanding that we got a tough challenge ahead of us, and but it's all to make us become great at the end of the day.
Well, Kenny, we appreciate you coming on the show here. Congratulations on another wonderful year. Matching up with De La Salle, they're the only other USA Today Super 25 team to win 4 in a row, so maybe you'll be able to get that this year, and we appreciate you coming on the show, and good luck in 2017.
Wayne, where are you at? Okay, I appreciate it.
Yep, thanks, Kenny. Take care. Taking a break. Coming back with more. This is High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System system to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay sideline system works with both your current booth and end zone cameras. Plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass-playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors, and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover.com/football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Once again in 2017, High School Football America and USA Today High School Sports teaming up for great national high school football coverage and coverage specifically from here in Southern California. Check them out at usatodayhss.com. Well, we start the show tonight in the state of Texas, and going to give you a little bit of a resume of the legend that's going to come on the line here in just a second. Coach Randy Allen, the Highland Park head coach, leading them to the Class 5A Division I state championship in the state of Texas this past year. He's been at Highland Park since 1999. A lifetime record at four schools of 361 wins, only 86 losses and 6 ties, 208 of those victories at Highland Park, and the last one on the 361, a state championship last year at AT&T Stadium. And Coach Allen's on the line right now to join us and talk about a wonderful 2016, an incredible career that spanned 36 years and probably a lot of other things. But we can't do that without first welcoming to the show. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm excited about being on the program.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And I do this whenever I get a coach that's had a pretty good resume. When you hear things like 361 wins, only 86 losses, a state championship this year, all the kids that you've had a hand in making better student athletes, what comes to your mind? Do you ever sit back at this point and go, wow, that's a lot of victories?
Well, you never. I didn't start out as a head coach worrying about how many wins I had. I started off because in coaching because I had a great head coach in high school. Merrill Green was my head coach, and he made such a positive impact on my life that I wanted to have the same impact on young people, and so that's why I got my degree so I could be a coach. And you just, God has just really directed my path, and I've had the fortune of being with some good players and good teams. And, when I look back on my career and see the success that our programs have had, I can't help but think that, I'm just so fortunate and grateful that I've had the opportunity to experience a lot of wins. Most of the coaches don't have that. You're not at a program where you can win a lot of football games. You're really struggling to get some programs going, and I think that, God's just put me in a position to where I've had the opportunity to win a lot of football games, and I'm very thankful and grateful.
Talking to Randy Allen tonight, the head coach at Highland Park, Class 5A Division I champs in Texas, fourth on the all-time wins list in the state of Texas. And Coach, can you take us back, turn the clock back a little bit? 36 years, you've seen a lot. The sport's changed a lot. What are some of the things maybe you did when you started, and even take us back to an assistant coach, but really specifically when you got your first head coaching job? Is there something in that foundation you built there that carried through the last three plus decades that still continues in 2017?
And when you start, when I started my first program, it was at Ballinger, and I wanted to be a head coach when I was 30 years old, and I went into Merrill Green, I was an assistant coach at Bryan High at the time, and I said, Coach, will you help me get a head coaching job? I don't know how to do it. And he said, I'd be glad to be a reference for you. And so because of his resume and because of his career, I was able to get an interview at Ballinger, Texas, and was hired. And we took over a program that hadn't won in a long time, hadn't been in the playoffs in a long time. And when you're young like that, 30 years old, you think you can turn anything around. And our first year, we won our first game and last game. We wound up 2-8, and I thought I'd made the worst decision of my coaching career. I couldn't go back to Bryan High School as an assistant, and nobody would hire me as a head coach at any other school. So I either had to get Ballinger High School going, or there were no other options. So I started investing in players, and if there's one piece of advice is this: if you take care of the players, they're going to take care of you. If you love your players, they're going to play hard for you. And so I just started taking care of players. I started investing in them. I started spending time and putting personal time into getting to know them and trying to make them better people. And then as a result, they played hard for us. And of course, I had a good coaching staff. And it takes a while to get a culture changed once you get into a new school. And so we changed the culture, and they got to where they expected to win. And that really got my career off to a great start in Ballinger. Then I had, I don't know if it was a smart decision or not, but I followed Coach Gordon Wood at Brownwood High School. Coach Wood was the winningest coach in high school at that time, and he had won 7 state championships at Brownwood. And, when you follow a legend like that, you can't do anything to exceed the expectations. All you can try to do is meet them, and it was a very tough job, but I did follow him, and he was very nice to me and helped me in my career. And then my goal was to go back to my alma mater, which was Abilene Cooper High School. And as a senior at Abilene Cooper, we had gotten beat by Austin Reagan in the state championship game 20-19. We ran a quarterback sneak on the last play of the game from the 1-yard line, and the officials didn't give us a touchdown. And so that kind of stuck in my craw. And so my goal was to go back at Abilene Cooper and win the state championship. In 1996, we went back to the state championship game at Abilene Cooper. We were defeated by Austin Westlake, quarterback by Drew Brees. And he had a great game. I didn't know how good he was going to turn out to be, but he was a great player. And I had on my team Dominique Rhodes, who went on to play for the Indianapolis Colts and was a great running back in the NFL. And then, I didn't really have a goal to come to Highland Park High School, but they called after I'd been at Abilene for 8 years, and I came in for an interview, and I didn't know about the great tradition here. I really didn't know much about anything that had to do with Highland Park, even though I had played at SMU, and SMU is only about a half a mile from Highland Park High School. But Scott Smith was the head coach here, and he told me all about the tradition and how they had good players stacked up, and that he was able to have successful career here, and that I would have a career here as well, a successful career. And so my wife and I took a risk and took this job, moved to Dallas, which I never dreamed that I'd live in Dallas. And the rest is kind of history. We won 200 and how many did you say, 208?
208, yep.
Yeah, 208 games here. So it's been the best move of my career. I've got 3 grandchildren going to school in the Highland Park Independent School District and 1 more in kindergarten. So it's been a great move for my family.
And is it still fresh for you, Coach? I mean, that's the one thing that I love when I get people like yourself on the air that have done so many. That resume is incredible. I mean, how do you keep it fresh?
Well, that is an excellent question. I'm going to write a book called Coaching Legacy, and in which I'm going to talk a little bit about reflecting. When you ask older people what they do differently, or if they had their life to live over, they would reflect more, they would risk more, and they would invest in things that outlast them. And so, as you look back on your career, you realize that you got to keep current. So I always try to go to clinics or spring trainings, and I'm always trying to learn more football because football changes. And that keeps me fresh because my wife tells me that right after one season ends that I'll sit in a chair with a notepad and I'll be watching I watch the pro bowl games of colleges, and I will take my cell phone and I'll videotape plays off the television set that I'd like to run. I have to record it so I can run it backwards, but then I take those plays that I record on my cell phone and put them on our video so I can watch them and show the players, and then I put in some and they wind up being very effective plays the next year. And then I'll spend time at SMU with Chad Morris and go over his offense. And I look at our personnel to see what formations or what systems best fit our quarterback and our players. And then the other thing is I gave up the athletic directorship. I was the AD and head football coach when I came here, and I was burned out at the end of the year, so set to a point that I told my wife this isn't any fun anymore. And I'm thinking, unless things change, I don't enjoy it. And she said, well, go to the superintendent and see if he'll let you be the head football coach and athletic boys coordinator and give the AD role to another person. So I did, and the school board approved it. And that taking that workload off of me has made a tremendous difference in my attitude and just my ability to endure the season and the school year and stay fresh. I got to a point where I was so burned out, I lost my sense of humor, and I wasn't looking, I just wasn't enjoying my job, and I wasn't taking care of the players like I was supposed to be. And having a lesser workload where I don't have to deal with all the athletic program has made a huge difference in my attitude and my sense of humor and the time I have to take care of players.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Randy Allen on the line. Head coach at Highland Park, the Class 5A Division I state champs this past season. Going to talk about that team in just a second, but it kind of dawned on me, Coach, as I was looking at things, and I heard you talk about as a player a loss sticking in your craw and whatnot. You only have 86 of those. I bet you probably remember more of the losses than the 361 wins. Is that the case?
Yes, there's no question about that. Now, here's the thing about coaching in high school. I've only had 2 years that I've ended on a win, and those have been the 2 state championship years. The other years I've ended on a loss because we've been in the playoffs and we've lost that last game. And so you think about that last game all year long. I mean, you don't put it out of your mind. It takes me quite a while to where I get over that disappointment and start thinking about next year and get that optimism back. But there's no question, coaches in general think about the losses more than they do their wins. And I've read about a lot of coaches, and part of our motivation is the fear of losing. I mean, we don't want to lose. I mean, we're so competitive that it motivates us to spend the time necessary to make sure that our team is so prepared that if they have the best chance to win, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Randy Allen on the line, head coach at Highland Park, and you just heard him say only twice in a historic career of 36 years has the season ended with a victory. First one in 2005, Matthew Stafford, the Detroit Lions quarterback, was the quarterback of that state championship team. A young man, John Stephen Jones, who has a little bit of a name recognition. Granddad is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. It happened this year. So now that you've had about a month or so to reflect on 2016 and that state championship run, what stands out? If I were to ask you, give me a couple of words that made the 2016 Highland Park team so good, what would those words be? What was the kind of the crux and the real important thing that the listeners around the country need to know about this last year's team?
I think belief. I think our guys believed that we were going to win. After last football season, I'm talking about 2015, we had a team meeting, and I told them they could win it all. I said, we can win it all. If you guys will just put in the work and have the dedication and leadership that you need, we can win it all. And I think they bought into that, and they spent the time necessary working out and dedicating themselves to being a better player, that they built a camaraderie during summer workouts of a real tight-knit team. And then as the season progressed, we lost the game early in the year, and that we should have won. And so we reevaluated, and we played. We practiced harder, and we eliminated the things that we thought caused us to get beat. Then we win 7 or 8 in a row, and then we got beat the last game of the regular season. And so we came in that Saturday morning after that last regular season game and before the playoffs started, and I wrote on the board of the scores of all our games, and I said, guys, this is who we are. The games that we won by a lot of points. So that's who we are. We're not the team that got beat last night. And I said, it wouldn't matter if we were 8-2 or we were 10-0 going to the playoffs, because I've taken 10-0 teams to the playoffs and gotten beat the first round, and I've taken a 7-3 team and gone to the state championship with them. So it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to start the same. What matters is the team that gets hot this time of year is going to be the team that wins the state championship. And people are not going to remember what happened in district. They're going to remember what happened in December when you're in the last 2 or 3 rounds of the playoffs. And I said, I want you to put this regular season behind you, because we've got to get better. We got to improve. We got to practice harder. And as coaches, we owe it to you to work you harder so that you have a chance to win the state championship. And I've got something in your locker to kind of separate the regular season from the playoffs, and I want you to go back there and look at it. Well, we had bought $35,000, 2 new jerseys, the real tight-fitting kind, and we had measured them earlier in the year, but didn't have enough money in our budget to buy new jerseys, so our parents raised some money, and without our players knowing about it, we ordered the jerseys. And they went back to their lockers, and you just can't imagine the excitement in that dressing room. They started taking selfie pictures of themselves wearing their new jerseys, and it made a tremendous difference in their attitude about approaching the playoffs.
Kids are always kids, aren't they, Coach? It doesn't matter whether it's 2016 or 36 years ago when you became a head coach. Kids get excited about stuff like that. It's great to hear. Randy Allen on the line tonight, head coach at Highland Park. So, Coach, let's get a couple of names in there. I mentioned your quarterback who's coming back, but give the listeners a snapshot. Who were some of the leaders on this team that ended up celebrating there at AT&T Stadium back in mid-December with you?
Well, our defense was tremendous. There was a game, the first playoff game, we held our opponents to 65 yards total offense and 2 first downs, and we played everybody on our football team. So that's how dominant our defense was. And the linebackers and captains were Bennett Brock and John House and Matt Gamm. Matt Gamm committed to Virginia, early before the season started, and then the other linebacker was Max Halsenbach and also Marshall Ballard. Our three down linemen were Turner Cox, who's committed to SMU to play football, Luke Blanton, who's committed to West Point, and then our other defensive lineman was Marshall Hammock. And then our secondary just got better and better as the year progressed. At corners, we had three corners, Alex Wazell, O'Neill Sitzer, and George Stewart, who played tremendous. And then our two safeties, Zach Foltz and James Herring, were great run stoppers and pass stoppers. That defense was as good a defense as we've ever had at Highland Park. And then, as you mentioned, on offense, we had a lot of injuries. We had 4 starters go down. We had our leading receiver, 2 leading receivers get hurt in the same playoff game. And then we had our 2 running backs, our leading 2 running backs, go down in a game. And so we wound up in the state championship game playing our 3rd running back. But I'll talk about those players here. Of course, at quarterback, John Stephen Jones. At running back, Jack Kosmetsky and Jacob Urbanzik were our 2 starters and leading rushers. And after they were injured, a junior named Paxton Alexander came in, and he, in the semifinal game, carried the ball 31 times for 130 yards. And in the state championship game, he carried it 21 times for 140 yards. So he wound up being the ball carrier that we went to when we had to have it in the championship game. Our offensive line was tremendous. J.D. Beverly was our center, Harrison Mursky our guard, Greg Giddens was the other guard, Thomas Shellmeyer our left tackle, and then Giff Giffen was our right tackle. J.T. Dooley, whose daddy is Derek Dooley, the wide receiver coach at the Cowboys, whose grandfather is Vince Dooley, was one of our receivers. Jack Toohey was the other receiver. Hudson Wood was an inside receiver, and then the other inside receivers were Parker Alexander and Ryan Waters.
Wow. There's some names of some kids that had a special season in 2016 for Highland Park, the Class 5A Division I state champs in the state of Texas. And was it made in? Yeah, you got a lot of publicity, obviously, around the country. Our partners at USA Today talked about John Stephen Jones and the relationship between him and his granddad and all that. I mean, did it make it a little bit sweeter to have that connection and then winning that gold medal, or those gold medals, I should say, at AT&T Stadium? Or is it just, hey, you know what, a state championship's sweet no matter how you look at it?
It was a real challenge this year to me as a coach, because I coached quarterbacks as well as one of our coaches, Tristan Weber, and we had 2 seniors. One was a captain, Michael Clark and Jack Fain, and then we had John Stephen, who was a junior competing for the quarterback position. And right before the season, we named John Stephen Jones as the starting quarterback after a real close competition. And so having John Stephen at quarterback was very interesting, because I had to protect him from the interviews, because I knew that the media would only want to talk about the connection with the Cowboys. They weren't really interested in our football team. And so I only let seniors be interviewed by the media. So John Stephen did not have an interview until after the 16th game of the season in the state championship game. He was his first interview with the media. I think that was really important for team morale. And then it was special, because to see the look on Stephen Jones's face when he hugged John Stephen and the mother, Karen Jones, and to see Jerry Jones, the excitement and the I don't know how to say it. You can only know if you're a parent or grandparent when your child does something or your grandchild does something that you're so proud of. But they were so excited on the sidelines after the game. And, of course, Jerry Jones got to present the Most Valuable Player Award to John Stephen, and that was really special. And he said a couple of things out on the field. He said, winning a state championship at Texas is big, isn't it? And he was looking at me, and I said, yes, sir, it's real big. And he said, that will always be in his DNA. And I said, that's right. He's always going to be a champion. He'll always remember this day.
Yeah, I can only imagine. It's probably a good segue to ask the next question. The pressure, you've been around it. How has coaching changed from a standpoint of pressure? I had the pleasure of going to my first Texas championships back in 2010 and ate a lot of crow. I'm a Pennsylvania boy who's very, very proud of where he was from, but you guys do it a little different there. How has the pressure changed on you as a coach and your coaching staff over the years?
Well, that's a good question, and I don't know exactly. Every school board and every community, when they hire a head coach, they expect to win, but they also expect you to develop character and be a good man. And sometimes some of the best coaches I know get in situations to where they can't win, and they are fired or replaced. And so there is pressure to win here. And the real challenge for coaches is keeping everything in perspective. It's being able to handle the pressure of winning by being the best coach you can be, and then loving your players. And it's what I said earlier in the interview, is if you really invest in your players, you love them, and you do the best job you can of preparing them, they're going to play hard. And then the results, if you got a good team, you're going to win. And if you don't, you might not win. But you're going to be satisfied at the end of the day that you did your very best, and that those kids are better players or better people because they came through your program. I think the thing that I've always, you try to win enough games to where you can get trust in the community. And once you develop some credibility and a resume to where people know that you won enough, that you know enough that they can't question what you're doing, then that puts you in a much more power position, and people are less likely to question. But even I've been here 18 years, and I've won most of our games, and I still get questions. I still get people that, want to know why I'm doing this or why I'm doing that. And so I think the best thing is, I meet with them and I explain it to them, and I try to keep things documented, and I try to be organized to where our players and parents are well. I communicate with them so they know what's going on. But it's, I think more and more people expect you to communicate with them, and they want to know everything about what you do in your program. I have a pre-parent meeting where I try to explain to them what to expect. But, with the internet the way it is, people are always wanting to know more and more and more about what's going on and what you're doing as a football coach and why you're doing it. And I'll just say this. We've probably done as good a job in the state of Texas with dealing with concussions and injuries and things that parents would be concerned about as anybody. We have 3 full-time trainers at Highland Park. We have 3 doctors, or as many as 5 some games, that are on the sidelines. The player gets a concussion or thinks he gets a concussion, he's out of the game, and he's under doctor's care until he's released to the trainers. And then he's got a 1 week where he has to show no concussion symptoms, and then he's gradually let back into the program. I had a lady who's a scientist at the Brain Health Center come talk to our parents when this concussion issue came up, and I'm meeting with an NFL summit today at 3:00 out at the Star with the Cowboys to talk about, how can we keep football the game that it is? How can we keep the game without losing, some participation in younger levels because of some of the negative publicity we're getting?
Yeah, it's. Go ahead.
I've rambled on that question.
No, it's okay. That's the great thing about having, when we have somebody like you. We've had a who's who list here at High School Football America, and we without people like you, there's no good history there that can teach us a little bit about what made the game great and what we need to do to move forward. And Randy Allen's on the line tonight on High School Football America. A couple of other questions, Coach, and I just thought of this as you said it earlier in the show about being an assistant coach and being hired. I know you can't do what you do without your staff. I'd like you to talk a little bit about your staff. And then for the young people out there that have played the game and now they maybe want to come into the profession of coaching and all that, what kind of tips would you give a young man out there that says, I think I might want to be like a Coach Allen and do this for several decades? Do you have any nuggets of wisdom for those young men out there and what they should look at coming into the profession?
Well, you get your teaching certificate in a subject area that you like to teach. And I think teaching is, in our school system, is just as important as coaching. And it takes a great interview with the department chair and a subject area for me to get a coach hired. So first thing I'd say is, pay attention in college to your subject area that you love to teach, and have a passion for teaching just like you do coaching. The other thing I would say to them is, you got to have the character traits that are necessary to be a good coach. And number one is loyalty. And I think as older coaches, we used to hear that all the time, the importance of loyalty, but I'm not sure the young coaches hear that as much. I'll take loyalty over knowledge any day. I can teach a guy the X's and O's, but I can't make him be loyal to me. And, the integrity, the loving players and having the right perspective on football, those are all very important. We don't cuss our guys. We're going to treat them with respect. And so those are the kind of men I look for. I look for guys that have those traits. And I think the most important thing is getting off to a good start. And what you want to do is find a head coach who has the same philosophy that you do, a philosophy that you can buy into, and it's something similar to the way that you were brought up as a player, because the head coach that you work under, that philosophy of that first head coach will probably become the philosophy that the young coach has when he gets his first head coaching job. And as I mentioned to you, I was really fortunate to have Coach Green as my first head coach. And I believed in what he did, and I did exactly what he did when I got my first head coaching job.
Yeah, success begets success. Last question for you, Coach Allen, is our partners at USA Today wrote an interesting story about you back in September. The title was Texas coaching legend Randy Allen has the best hat in the business. I've seen pictures of you wearing the black hat there. It's a la Tom Landry, a la Bear Bryant. Tell us the origins of that hat. Why did you start wearing one, and what's the significance of it?
Well, that's a really good story, and I love to tell it. Coach Landry, of course, was a great role model to all coaches, but especially to Texas coaches. And he was a Fellowship of Christian Athletes speaker. I remember hearing him in Estes Park, Colorado. He and Roger Staubach gave their Christian testimony. He was a winner. He won Super Bowls. I just watched him on the sidelines, and I heard him speak, and I just thought, that's the kind of role model that I want to emulate. And, I wore a baseball cap on the sidelines for most of my career, until Coach Landry passed away. When he passed away, I decided to wear a fedora in his honor the next year. So his wife, Alicia Landry, had gone to Highland Park High School, and many of his grandchildren had gone to school here. So there was a connection with Coach Landry and Highland Park High School. So I wore the fedora, and we had a good season, and I wasn't going to wear it the next year. It was just going to be a one-year deal. And we were playing a team called Lancaster in the first game the next year, and we were favored to win. They had lost about, 10 games in a row, and so we were highly favored to win. And we played at their place, and I wore a baseball cap, and we got beat, or we were beaten that game. And so the next Monday night at Booster Club, everybody's got a reason why we got beat. We played on grass. We missed 3 field goals. We had some players out because of discipline reasons and all that. And then after they had said what they thought was the reason we got beat, I said, no, the reason we got beat is in this box. And I had that fedora in a box. And I opened the box, and I said, it's because I didn't wear my fedora. So I'm going to wear the fedora from now on. We went on about a 12-game winning streak after that. And so I've been wearing it ever since.
That's a wonderful story.
And it's really to honor Coach Landry. And you can't imagine how many people, even around AT&T Stadium on the highway, they'll have pictures of his fedora. And there's a statue at AT&T Stadium of him wearing his fedora with his arms crossed. And the other day, Gil Brandt gave me a copy of what he has in his arms in that statue, and it's a game plan. And he actually gave me that game plan that Coach Landry has under his arms in that statue. So it's his name is still very alive in Dallas, Texas with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And when you go watch the Cowboys play and you see pictures of the old Cowboys, you'll see Coach Landry in that fedora, and it brings back all those great memories of those Cowboy teams.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As you were talking about that, I was actually in my mind's eye there thinking about Coach Landry on the sidelines. And the last question is probably one you get a lot. Maybe it's fair, maybe it's unfair, but you said you like to sit down after the season's over. You ended with a win and start thinking about 2017. How much longer are you going to do this, Coach? You're still a young man, but how much longer are you going to keep at the job of being a high school football coach?
My best friend in coaching is Jimmy Keeling, and Jimmy Keeling was the head coach at Hardin-Simmons University, and he coached till he was 75 years old, and he was still energetic and said he could have gone longer. And so, I'm not nearly that old, so I think there's still some years in me, and I just take it one day at a time. And the thing that I know is that it's why I was made. It's what I do. It's my mission in life is to work with these young people. And I just can't see myself doing anything else or doing anything that would have more impact than what I'm doing right now. And I just enjoy it and want to continue doing it.
Well, I believe in following your passion. It sounds like you've done that. Congratulations, Coach, on not only an outstanding 2016, but an outstanding 3+ decades of leading student athletes. And we just appreciate you coming on and sharing some of your wisdom. We appreciate you being on here. And good luck in 2017. Sounds like the blood's already kind of stoked up and ready to go. So thanks for joining us on the show, Coach.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Taking a break, coming back with more. This is High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors, and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at tdirazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at tdirazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover.com/football. All right, that's going to do it for tonight's show. We want to thank our guest, Kenny Sanchez, head coach at Bishop Gorman, 2016 High School Football America Mythical National Champs, and Coach Randy Allen from Highland Park in Texas. Appreciate both of them taking the time to come on the show tonight. Don't forget, while we're away and off the air, follow us in all the news from around the nation on Twitter at HSFB America. That's our handle. Also on Facebook and on Instagram. Make sure you patronize all of our partners here at High School Football America. Just go to the website at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Get your free demo from Crossover by clicking there. Check out Echo, instant replay for you. Southern Sport, USA Today, and ScoreStream, all great partners of us here at highschoolfootballamerica.com. All right, and don't forget, if you have some staff openings, if you're a district official and you're looking for a head coach, make sure you write us at job posting at highschoolfootballamerica.com so we can post the job for you. 250 openings currently up on the board. We've put up about 3,000 plus over the last 2.5 years, and coachesjobboard.com also up and running now with about 100 coaching openings outside of football. For now, this is Jeff Fisher saying good night and good sports from Southern California. You've been listening to High School Football America, America's premier year-round high school football talk show. We'll talk to you next week.